Alrighty, Doc here from North America. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. It's TGIF. Thank goodness it's Friday. So we're happy about that. They're a little disturbed this morning with the bonds. Interest rates are rising again. Every time you turn around, they try to, you know, they tried to, pump up the market, and the bond vigilante said no. So the stock market was down. The Dow Jones Industrial Average was down about 360 points. It's only down 250 now. Interest rates started rising. They started buying stocks, obviously the Fed or whoever, and they'll try to work on the bonds after later in the day type of thing, I would assume. Let's put the bonds up on there. Right there. There's the bonds. And so now they said it was rising, and I don't see it. Now, what is that? Let's just double check that. But it must be like happening in the last few minutes. Let's just double check over here. Over here. Over there. The Yanks. Now, when the price goes up, interest rates drop. I don't know what they're talking about. Oh, I see what it is. Here's May imports down 0.4% versus an estimated up 0.1%. Bond people must have known that. But I don't see it in the futures contract on the 30. Let's do this. Let's go take a peek at, where is it at? Trading, and let's look at the bonds. Bond rates right there. Let's check that out. Yeah, look at them. They're all down. I'm not sure why the price of the 30-year. Now, the 30-year, yeah, even the 30-year is down. You can see that right here as we highlight it right there. That's the 30-year. There's the yield. It's down there saying. I guess the yield is up on the 3-month. So let's see, how does this work? So they're saying that, what if we can get a chart on that? Okay, so right there, and then let's put in a daily and see what that does. Okay, I see the spike there just in the last few minutes. Okay, so that's why the beta hasn't picked it up yet, because it's 15 minutes behind. All right, that makes sense. Look at that right there. Now, I am a little surprised is I'm not seeing the bond future really make much of a difference. It's coming off its high, of course, but it's not making that big a move. Okay, that's what it comes down to. And then when we go back to the page, right there, you can see, in the 1 month is trading at 535 right there. You can see same thing with the 2 month and the 3 month and the 4 month. And then they start to calm down after 6 months. And then they drop almost to the 5% area after 1 year. And then they pull into 4.6, and it drops and drops. And then it starts to bounce up a little bit in the 20-year and the 30-year. Okay. All right, just thought I'd show that because I hear them complaining. Hey, Robin, how you doing? I hear them complaining. When they complain like that, I figure I better pay attention, All right. Let me get a sip of water. And let's switch over to... Well, it's moving down, that's for sure. But it's still plus for the day. So it's not like they're... it is amazing, these talking heads on TV. They get excited over almost nothing. And then I jump in there, take a look and see, and it's like, that's nothing. It's like, they just get so excited over, a half a percentage move in the stock market. They're like, the world is crashing. Oh my God. Or we're running big and strong and steady. It's a bull market. It's like, it's a half a percentage point. Let's see. Let's jump over to, let's see where we at. Let's get the dollar index up on there. Also, let me open this up too. Okay, there we are. And I'm going to jump back over to here for a second or so. And go back to here. And let's take a look at, since that's the 30 year, you can see that was way at the top. And I guess as the next 15 minutes goes by, or 20, it'll start to back off. Let's see what the Bitcoin's doing today. Bitcoin's been kind of stalled out, was playing around in the all-time high area, and it's still kind of dragging its feet. The weekly is trying to turn in. That is, let's go like that. That is yesterday's action. So it drove it down yesterday like that. We're pretty much still there. More than likely, the weekly will be even a little bit tighter to the zero line. You see the fast is underneath, and the green is trying to get there too. And that is the action. Now remember, we always try to remind people who may be new here about the idea that what we do is we go through, there's the bar chart, and it has one of our simpler algorithms on there like that. This is a daily, that's a daily open, high, low, close chart right there up on the top. Down below in the middle is a daily algorithm. This is our algorithm we've been using for basically around 50 years now. And then this is a weekly algorithm. And we've been doing the same thing. We've been looking at the markets through the weekly, the dailies, and the intraday all combined together, but not necessarily on this situation. We don't look at the intraday here unless you ask for it. And then from there, we usually start off around in the currency world. So we look at the dollar and we look at the euro, and we look at things like that. But if you have an interest in seeing something, just put it on the chat line and we will take a peek at it. And that's how we work. We're basically making decisions through algorithms, and we've been doing that for decades, going on 5 decades now. So, it's that's and it's been good. We can't complain, and we can sit here and give you the results. We won't give you the formula, but we will give you the results, and we will also give you what's going on now. So if you ask, you receive. And at the same time, you're welcome to ask any questions. And as you can see here, did we put the euro up there yet? Here, that's the dollar index. Let's just take a look at the dollar index again. And right there. There's the dollar index jumping through the bottom of the algorithm. Or I'll show you to you right here. See it there? It's trying to leap through. And the weekly has joined in, and it's jumping back up into the buy area. We'll see. Today's Friday. It might close there. If it does, surprise, surprise, every time we turn around, they find a way to buy dollars. It's like it doesn't seem to want to stop. We keep on thinking that some of the pairs trades are going to be stronger, but they just don't let go. It's like, the dollar is a place to be. As much as, it's way overpriced it's overpriced at this point. Par is fair value and expensive. 96, 95 is, I think, the fair value of it all because of inflation. And, and the 90s would be starting to become undervalued. And in the 80s, without a doubt, would be undervalued. So that's why we're where we are with our opinion on it, but not the algorithm. We have to follow the algorithm in the end. So let's jump over to the euro and see what that looks like. And you see they went into the sell yesterday on the algorithm on the daily right there. Was red dots for a while. It went into the daily sell right there. Let's steal this. That's when you can tell is when the white is below the zero line, the histogram and the green line drop underneath the zero line here. And same thing here, when it's dropping through the zero line, it's bearish. Now this blue dotted line on the weekly is a fast algorithm. and it's a 3 algorithm versus the green, which is 5, and so it moves faster, and you can see it broke down into it last week. Here with that pressure, now the slow is joining in. Hard to believe, what it's trying to tell us. You would think that this could be, summer months, quiet, not going in any direction, but politics, because of the election, may be forcing money to come back into the market, the currency market itself, and buy dollars. Mr. Trump was up on the Capitol Hill at the House, the Congressional House, and at the U.S. Senate, and both of them were almost unanimous on the Republican Party side that they're supporting Trump, and so that really solidifies like what the criminal stuff that they keep on charging them for means nothing to everybody. We know it's fake. So, and when the politicians are willing to admit it's fake, then we know we're all right. All right. From there, we're going to go take a peek at what are we going to look at? Well, thank you. Now you can see here the cable is breaking down today. Yesterday it tried to break down but wouldn't. Notice the weekly is not dropping like the way the euro is. The fast is, of course, because it is fast. But you can see here the slow has joined in with the fast on the euro, whereas on the cable, not it's even above the manifold, the green line. That's telling us that they haven't capitulated yet, and maybe this is the support area for the cable. A couple days in a sell, and then boom, back up again. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe they have politics going on, and Nigel Farage looks like he's going to be head of the opposition party, which is really cool. He'll beat out the Tories, and they deserve it. They are, not sure if they're a Tory or a Labour at this point. They all look like Tony Blair conservatives, That's what they look like right now, and that's not what people are voting for. So we'll see. But that may be why we're seeing GBP is that looking strong, is that the future is looking brighter if Nigel has the potential to become the next prime minister after whoever becomes this prime minister. All right. From there, we shoot over to, it's Friday, so let's take a look at the bond again. The bond is, now it's a dollar index. There's the bond. Bond is still sinking a little bit, but I'm trying to think, was there anything in the news today worth talking about? Let's just go take a look at the news real quick through the eyes of Zero Hedge. It says future slide yields tumble as European turmoil sparks global risk off. Now that makes me want to go look at, let's go take a look at the DAX. Are they smacking the European stocks? Oh yeah, look at that. They're pushing it down. And it's the second week in a weekly sell too at the same time. 3 out of the last 4 days are in daily sells. And the way it works here is you would never take that buy, you would only take a profit off of it on the green right there, and that because we're in a weekly sell. And the weekly commands, in other words, if it's in a weekly sell, we play the shorts. If we're in a weekly buy, we play the longs. You can see how that works. It works out usually pretty profitable. And so let's take a look at the CAC 40 and see what that's doing, if they're saying the Europeans are having issues. Yeah, look at that. That thing's getting smackadoodled too. And that's 5 weeks in a sell since the 8,200 area. We're now trading in the 7,500 area. And then we go to FTSE. FTSE 2 weeks in a sell. And it's coming down from the 83, 82.75 area down to the 81.75. Not as bad, but you can see it's 4 full days in a sell there. Going on a 5th day now. And then we look at the Stokes 500. Where are you? There it is. And you can see that same situation. It's getting pounded, and it's been in a weekly sell for 3 out of the last 4 weeks, but for 2 full weeks now we're in a sell. So it's been in the sell since the 5,050 area, and boom, 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 boom. We are now in the, what did I say it was? Around the 5,000 area, and we're now in the 48,000 area, or in this case here, 5,050 area. It went into the weekly sell up in here, and so it's down about 100 points, I guess. Is that what that is? 100 points, 5,050 to 4,000, 200 points, maybe 150 points. So they are smacking them. Now because of that, let's just take a look at the S&P 500 and see what they're doing to the U.S. Grand Lady of them all. We know it's down a couple hundred points, so it's not just Europe being sold down. There it is right there. And it's the same thing, too. It's 3 full days going on a 4th day in a sell, and we are 3 full weeks now in a sell. So I guess, they can say that headline would work also with the idea that basically the Western stock market. Well, you know what? What's interesting is, let me show you what's interesting. They're off their highs, right? And we have, let's go back to it. We have the, what's interesting is that we have the NASDAQ 100 closing at all-time highs. It does not care, and it's been in a weekly buy now for 6 weeks. And the S&P 500 is the same way, and you can see how many days. It's like 10 days in a daily buy, and you can see it's 7 weeks in a weekly buy, and it's at all-time highs. So it's kind of interesting. The Tech 100, the tech companies and the tech stocks are obviously pushing the Trump got $2 million in donations from London fundraiser. Way to go, Donald. Knowing him, he just flew right over to London after he left Washington. And so you can see there we have some stock indices over here that are acting very well. Now let's take a look at our weakest stock index, and then we'll go back to the currencies. Unless you want to see something, then I'll stop what I'm doing here. But you can see here's the Russell 2000. Russell 2000 is off its highs of the last month and a half, and it's been in a weekly sell for 3 weeks, just like the Dow Jones Industrial Average. Interesting. All right, we're going to shoot back. I'm going to let me just finish taking a sip of water here. We're going to shoot back to the currencies right there. Again, there's cable breaking down. There's the Swiss, the inflation fighters. Now that's interesting is when the Swiss goes down, it's gaining against the dollar. And you see here it's a little, it's on a little angle down. Hasn't taken out this low here, but it's in a sell for 3 days, and it's in a weekly sell for going on. This is 3 full weeks now in a weekly sell from the 101 area. Oh no, I'm sorry, 91 and a quarter, 91 and a half area, and now we're down at 89. We've gone into the 88. So it's gaining against the dollar today, whereas euro and cable are not. Interesting. That's kind of interesting right there alone. From there, we jump over to the yen. And you see the yen has been losing against the dollar today. Backed off a little bit there, but definitely stronger. Went into the sell yesterday, closed in a buy. Yes, I'm sorry, 2 days ago it closed in a sell right there. Yesterday it closed back in the buy right there. Let's put a green line in there for you. We put those lines in there just to help you out from seeing, if it's too hard to read. And you can see here, the weekly, went into the weekly buy last week, and obviously, it has done, as far as it's going down, it's gone up, right there. Dow Jones was down about 245, 255. We seem to be slowly sliding down again towards 300. We're at 285 at the moment. All right, what else we got going on here? From there, we will go take a look at Turkey, the Turkish lira. Bingo, bango, bongo. Stayed inside this littler box. We're real happy about that. It's in a daily sell from here. But as you can see, it's been in the weekly buy since basically here. It's had some wild days, and this thing is wild, that's for sure. I think we've been like 35. Was it? I think it was 33, and now it's 30. So we've been in a weekly buy 40 out of the last 41 weeks. Yes, 40 out of the last 41 weeks. Yowzer, yowzer, or what? Is that wild? Woohoo. It is wild. Okay. And what else do we do currency-wise? Oh, what we're going to do now is we jump over to the metals complex. So what we do is we look at the South African Rand, which sounds like they've got their act together on what they're going to do. It's the DA and the Zulus teamed up with a moderate side of ANC. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Because between DA and the Zulus, that's got to be about 30% of the parliament. And the ANC controls about 39% of the parliament. So they could get a lot of positive things done. Maybe more law and order, protect equity, start to grow the country again. See that currency move down to the 13s and 12s again. Right now it's been stuck in the 18.5, 19 area. Let's take a look. There it is. Towards the lows of the last couple weeks, we're playing with the weekly sell. I think I'm just going to throw the line in there, even with it not there. This way next week when we look at it, it'll be like, oh, okay, yeah, it's in a sell. I can always delete it. There we go. I'll move it over like that. So it looks like we're going to be in a weekly sell again, which is a very good thing. You can see we've been in a daily sell. Let's steal this red here. We've been in the daily sell since there. But now we're going into the weekly sell so you can start to play the short side. And what else can we say about it? Now, looking at that, we go over and look at gold. There we are. Now gold is lifting up. Normally when the South African Rand goes down, gold goes up. And you can see here we've been in a daily buy for 3 days and done nothing. Going up, going down. It's more of a loser. And at the same time, luckily we were in a weekly sell, so you're not taking this long. Now we got a little warning that was going to be some action. There's the green red on the bar. And we jumped into a daily buy, but we're in a weekly sell, so you don't trade the you don't get long. You just watch, or you cover some of your longs and sell. In this case here, it'd be the short side, because we were in a daily sell, and you can see it went in the wrong direction. And so that doesn't belong there, and that doesn't belong there. Remove that and remove that. And so you haven't been able to take the long, and then when they finally gave you the short, it was a loser. So that's how come we're 86 out of 100 all the time. Whereas the buy here was a good win. And the buy here was an okay win. And I guess the one before that was an okay win. Yeah, there it is right there. That was an okay. She moved over one. And that was an okay win. And that was an okay win right there too. So right now we are flirting with, it's interesting to see the fast move up. It's breaking through the green on the weekly basis, but it's still down. And at the same time, we've been sitting in a buy for a couple of days. Maybe this is the beginning. Now that South Africa, well, I guess what they have to do is see how they vote and who gets put into what position. I think that's what it comes down to. Now the Zulus, I think they call them the ATF or IFT. The Zulu members of the parliament always worked with the DA, or most of the time they did. They never worked with the ANC. So this is very positive. We can imagine if they had gotten, the majority between the two of them. That would have been very interesting. Either way, this is very positive because the ANC was weakened so much from former President Zuma, who's in exile. He's wanted for murder. So none of that stuff like with Trump, what Biden does to him, where he's actually seen killing people on the streets, but it's whereas they still don't know the 34 or 32 felonies that they've charged Trump with. We still don't know what they are. That's the weird thing. But he's a felon now. What? We're not sure. All right. So from there, we march our way over to silver. And there's silver trying to lift up a little bit. You can see it's through the plus. And we can get rid of that. Matter of fact, we can make that green at this. Oh, wait a minute. It is already green. That's in a buy too, like the way gold is. And you see it's trying to turn up in here. But you can see here they're trying to push it into the weekly sell. That's going to be interesting to see. We were not real surprised, but you definitely pay attention when the silver starts to break the $30 area. It seemed to get comfortable up there for about 3 or 4 weeks. From there, we'll shoot over to copper. Copper has been a slow, steady burn from this area here, and it's just not really doing anything good. I would say, in other words, the buys were good. There's a good buy. That's not the buy. Why is that in there? Why are either of those in there? And the sell, we were in a buy, so it was tough to get into until in here somewhere. And now that buy there, and it pushed in the sell. It's kind of lost. Tried another buy, but we're in a sell, so you're not taking those buys. But we're in a sell there today from yesterday. And then last but not least, we go to the platinum, and there it is on the platinum. That's been in a weekly sell and a daily sell for a while now. And this second full week of a weekly sell. A second full week of a weekly sell. Fascinating. So, we were looking at, just zero hedge to see if there was any interesting headlines. Let's go back to it for a few seconds at least. It's always fun. Now that's the metals complex, and then from there we're going to go do the energy complex. But let's see. I'm going to go through zero hedge again. It says millions in drug money has made its way into the South Florida commercial real estate market. The U.S. Navy evacuates injured Marine from Hutu attacked cargo ship. set ablaze by missile. I don't understand why Mr. Biden can't figure out how to stop those characters. The entire system is crumbling. Major red flags are popping up for the banks, small businesses, and retailers. What's that mean? If the economy is fine, why are so many signs of trouble erupting around us? Let's see what they're talking about there. That seems pretty loud. Red flags. What's a red flag mean? Does that mean they're going to go vote Republican? Like red, white, and blue? If the economy is fine, why are so many signs of trouble erupting all around us? Those that keep insisting that the U.S. economy is heading in the right direction conveniently ignore the very troubling facts and figures that I regularly share with my readers. When you take an honest look at the cold, hard numbers that the economy keeps producing, there is only one logical conclusion. Our entire system is crumbling, and it appears that conditions will soon get significantly worse. Okay. Wow. But the FDIC will not tell us. Okay. Well, let's see. According to Mortgage Bankers Association, 1.2 trillion of commercial real estate debt in the United States will mature over the next 2 years. Okay. Well, by then, Mr. Trump will be ended and life will be good again. He's good at that stuff. He's a businessman. He understands, when you're just a politician, it's very tough, Being a businessman and a politician usually works because making money is the right thing and losing it is the wrong thing. Whereas a lot of politicians don't understand that. All right, well, that was an interesting story there. Let's go see one more. What we got here? Why Americans aren't buying Biden's strong economy propaganda. Oh, my goodness. They're really beating up Mr. Biden again today. General public clearly don't like the economy, which is a big deal if you are a politician seeking re-election. So why is everyone so grumpy? Are economists out of touch with reality? Okay. Let's see the chart, and then from there we're going to go back to we'll go to the energy sector. I want to see that chart that they had there. Is that it? Expectations the next 12 months. 12-month outlook in Michigan survey. Oh, I think that's the one I wanted to see. This one right there. What is this? The bit normal people are care about. Food prices. I guess. Okay, this is U.S., U.K., Europe, and Canada. And so you can see that they're all, all going in that same direction, and people they care. Let's see, food prices. This is showing the food prices leap up under Mr. Biden. That's what it is. Mr. Trump came in right here, right there, just right around in here, and then the COVID thing. And then now COVID is over with, and look at what Mr. Biden has done to it all. Ugh. So that's not good. All right, that's the end of our stories for the day. Since it's Friday, we thought we'd do that. That seemed kind of fun to me. But you're always welcome to ask a question. I'll stop and go look at whatever you want to look at. All right, from there, let's go to crude oil. There's crude oil. Right there. And you see that we started flirting with the daily sell there yesterday, but obviously it's not doing it well today. It's backed off. This morning it was down lower. You can see we got a green and a red. You see it's bouncing up again, and it did not break into the zero area, and the weekly is only minus 0.05. It was just 0.4. So it's very close to climbing into the weekly buy. Now let me just show you the heating oil. This is the oil that they stick in airplanes and trucks. It's diesel, basically, and they use it to also heat houses and hot water. And so you can see here, that's leaping up big time. In other words, we're seeing some growth here. Someone's caring, I guess. And then we go over to Now we'll jump back to beta and we'll look at, here it is right there. That's the Brent. You can see Brent is climbing back up again. It's heading for it's an 84 now. It's 6 days in a buy and 2 weeks in a buy. So Brent has been very bullish. From there, we're going to go look at the natural gas right there, and that's in the United States. You see it's pushing itself into the sell the last couple days. And the weekly, after 8 weeks, is playing with still in the buy, but lower than it has been in many weeks. And from that, what we do is we look at the energy company down in Spain right there. And you can see that thing is still dropping. And it's a second week in a weekly sell. And you can see it's parked itself in the 21 area after the European Parliament became another election. We talked about that. I think we talked about policies and politics and stuff like that. And that was in the beginning of the week when European Parliament won the conservative right. So it's now a center-right organization instead of a center or just left organization. So with it, energy prices dropped dramatically in Europe. Dramatically. You can see it right there. That's a stock that trades energies and produces energies. And you can see it went from 25 down to 21 in 1 day. It's been parked down there for 3 days now. So that shows you right there. That's rubber meets the road. That's like it's a friction universe. You see, when business people and smaller spenders and more organized people become in control, things are better financially. You can see that right there. And let me just do that like that. There it is. It was cruising along here. The Parliament, the left lost big time, and boom, in 1 day it was down, down, down. So, all right, now from there, we go to, let's see, that's it with the energies. Cool. If anybody wants to see anything, let us know. Let's see. Let's jump over to. Oh, I don't think you saw those, did you? You did not see those energies. Let me just go back there again and show it to you. There's that's the company from Spain. Took that big drop from the parliamentary election. Bang. Then there's Brent. Right there. There you go. You can see that there. That's the Brent, looking good, and a weekly buy for 2 weeks. And then, this is the West Texas Intermediate right here. So, it's very positive. All right, let's jump over to, where do we go from here? Let's go like this. Let's see what's going on over here. Let's take a look at the euro again, see if it's still dropping. Right there. Still, well, it's down at its lows. That's the sad part if you're long. But if you're short, it's not a sad part. It's A-okay. Yep, not looking bad whatsoever. Not bad. Now, where do we go from there? I guess what we do is see if the cable's popped up a little bit. Wouldn't that be neat if it got back? Nah, it's not. It's still at its lows of the day. Let's show you what the U.S. stock market is doing on an intraday basis. Right there. Let's make this one the biggest so you can see it. You see, pretty much this is midnight. This is the European Open in here, and these are the Asian hours right there. European hours, slid it down, put a bottom in here about was that about 2.5 hours ago, and we've done a little bounce up from there, and you can see there's the buy signal there. Since it's an intraday, it only has one algorithm right there. When they're all underneath, be short. When they're all above, be long. And there's your short again right there, and then there's your long right. And you don't pay attention to the color of the dots on this, and that's there. I just leave them on there. It kind of shows you the volatility more. So that has been the way we've been looking at this, and that is it's a 2369 tick bar. So you can see it's ticking away. We can give you another view of a very shorter one, what we call a Tesla, right there, and that's ticking away softly and easily. Each bar is made up of 693 ticks or contracts, and so that's the way that works there. And then let's see. Then we have a larger one. What we do is we look at. Let's see, we can show you that. We trade spreads off of this one. Let's go show you the one we trade spreads off of. Right there. So it's been in the sell since up in here this morning, off of that one right there, and we're not in the buy yet. Look at it. It's just the blue is there, but not the green and the white. None of them are just the one out of the three. So that could definitely roll over and turn into a glide down again, and it wouldn't surprise me any. It does seem to me that does seem to be the recipe at the moment. It really does. It looks like they want to. Looks like they do want to drop them again. The Fed will probably play with them a little bit more, and then what happens is that once the bonds are closed or something like that around 3 o'clock our time in the late afternoon, it wouldn't surprise me if you see the stock market find a way to turn back up again, that type of thing. Now remember, stock market is only down like let's see what exact. I'll give you the exacts. The S&P 500 is down not even 0.5%, just a little under. The Dow is down 0.72%, and the Tech 100 is not even down a quarter. So we're excuse me. FTSE's down 0.5%, not even 1%, 0.1%. Whereas I just saw the DAX. The DAX is down 1.26, and so, and crude oil is up about 0.4%, and so we're not exactly getting beat up. It's not like they're down 3% or something like that, or 5%. They're not even down a percentage point. Now, obviously, the DAX is, and let's see, where was the DAX? I just saw the DAX go by again. Bitcoin's 0.2% up, actually. It's very firm there. So, we're not, none of the big indexes really are more than a 1% off. Maybe the Russell, but then the Russell's so speculative it doesn't mean much. It's 1.4. It just means money is not rushing towards it. The CAC Qaran is down 2.4, and the DAX is down 1.27%. So it's the CAC Qaran out of them all. There was a headline this morning. I could go find it again, and I didn't read it. And maybe it's worth finding, because maybe you'll understand it more than I. I do understand what they're trying to tell me. What they have is they have Macaron, and he's got his hands underneath his chin. Here it is. Right wing or communism? Question mark. European Panic Part 2. I guess I'm not sure what that's all. I guess you got to sign in for this. So they say he did a miscalculation by calling elections. And so I thought that was interesting. Um, oh, you didn't see that, did you? Let me put it up there again. Yeah, it definitely catches his face. You know that something's wrong. Obviously, like I said, it's zero hedge, so zero hedge can be really, really accurate. Oh wait, what's this? French development banks pulls bond sale as Macron sparks EU market meltdown. What did he do now? Let's see. Here we go. Let's see what it is. So it says here, French president's shock announcement of a snap legislative election after sustaining a hammering from the far right Rassemblement National in Europe elections are starting to show up in some much more worrying system signs of the EU overall. Oats spreads. That gap between yield of 10-year bonds issued by France, known as oats, for obligation assembles due to some French thing, and German bonds, is back at the center of discussion. I guess that's it right there. The bonds have really gotten wiped. Let me show you that picture that I was telling you about too. Because a lot of people were listening in Europe about this, and I guess it's well worth to let you know what we think over here with zero hedge. Here it is right there. Let's go back that. There it is right there. You see his face. You see him right there. He's frustrated. He's kind of lost. And so here, the article tells the bond. They're watching the bonds. Here's the bond market right there. It's going from like 0.47 up to almost 7.7. So French government bonds going against German government bonds 10-year. So it's the spread. Yeah. And so I guess the snap election is freaking people out. Oh well. What are you gonna do? That is Mr. Macron. Macron. I think his name is Macron, really. Macron. It's too bad. He's really. I didn't understand why he called a snap election just because he lost in the European Parliament. I guess he was thinking maybe he's not as smart as we thought he was. We thought he was kind of smart, but then he's really hurt the country over the last couple of years. So I guess he's not the sharpest bulb in the pack. All right. So from there, okay. Where should we go? Let's see over here. So you can see here. Oh yeah, let's go back to what I was showing you. We should trade spreads off of this right there. You see it's turned, but not enough. This is a 39,330 tick bar. I used to trade 50,000 lots, so it's not hard for these things to get there. All right. Let's see, where are we at from there? Do we want to go look at? Let's take a look at the European marketplace no, we saw the European. Let's go see what they did in Asia, because it's done for the day now in Asia. So let's take a look at. Let's go back to the beta. Right there, you can see there the weekly is dropping underneath. So let's see how the daily did. And that's the Nikkei. Now, Nikkei's been in a daily buy now for 6 days, going on 7. This is the 7th day today. You can see the weekly, which was in a buy, was flirting with the weekly sell, which is very curious in its own right at this point. It's been a little of a surprise that it dropped back underneath. The inflation kind of perks that thing up, and that's half the reason why we've seen the action we have seen in that product itself. And And then from there we go over to the Kospi in South Korea right there. And South Korea is showing strength too. Look at it. It's up at the highs of the last month. And you can see here it looks like it wants to close in a weekly buy. That's pretty cool. From there we go over to, let's see where to go. The Taiwan to the Taipei index. Right there. The chip index, I guess you could call that. Look at that. I think it's cruising along all-time highs, even with the Chinese sailing their boats around the country. And you can see it's a third day in a daily buy. And it's a full 6 weeks in a weekly buy. So they don't seem to be that worried about the Chinese government bothering them. I know the new president said we can repel you, so stop being so obnoxious. I think he said it's something almost like that. So we're not worried. We can beat you. And then, yeah, they probably have the best chips. They can probably land their missiles right where they want them, like, right in X's automobile, right in the back seat. So it's like, why mess with people who have that ability? All right, and then from there, we slide over to X's marketplace. Let's take a look and see. There is that's the Shanghai index. You see it's 4 full weeks in a sell. You see it's trying to get into the buy today, but it's failed. Yesterday, and it failed at it. It was on both sides of the ball there. And you can see it's trying to lift today, possibly making it into the buy. We'll see tomorrow. And then from X's favorite index, the Shanghai index, let's take a look at the Hang Seng, the real index of China. And you can see that's also being sold down. And you're talking there 6 days in a sell. We're looking at 3 weeks in a sell. It just gets worse and worse and worse. There's not much more that you can say about that. Yep. It's a... All right. So from there, we go over to Philippines. See what they're doing in the Philippines. It's been a little weak over in the Philippines throughout the last couple of weeks. So let's see what they're doing today. Philippines. There it is right there. Felipe. You see 3 full days in a sell. Actually, it's the 4th day now in a sell. And you see it is also the 4th week in a sell. So the pressure every time we go into sell seems to be on the downside here. And then from there, we'll go over to the Singapore Straits Times. Where are you, Singapore? Right there. You see, it's been cruising at really high numbers, backing off a little bit, but I can say that the vol is very low. And you can see here, we were, there's 3, there's 6, and 7. This is the 8th day in a sell right there. 8 days in a sell. And you can see we're flirting with the weekly sell. So Asia overall seems to be having, feeling kind of weak in there. And then we'll just show you the last 2. There is the Kakaran. No, I'm sorry. This is the All Ordinaries Index. It's down for 4 days, and it's closed a 2nd week in a sell. And we go to India with the Nifty 50. You see 2 days, 3 days in a sell, but they're going up, down, up, down. And you can see here we're 2 weeks in a buy. So they've recovered totally from the election situation. All right, traders, we're out of here. This is Doc saying happy trails to you. Until we meet again, which will be Monday. Thank goodness it's Monday. Happy trails to you, to all our trading friends. Later, traders. Have a safe and smart trading day. Ta-ta for now.